coming into force, and Fort Hood began to grow, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. We recognized that there was a challenge with the service-based economy in terms of adequate amounts of jobs for military spouses assigned to soldiers at Fort Hood. About 10,000 soldiers separate from the service every year at Fort Hood, which is one of the most significant places that's done in the United States Army. And through a survey that you'll hear about, we've determined that about 30% of those soldiers desire to stay in the Central Texas area within 30 miles of Fort Hood when their service ends. And we're very sensitive to the issues of unemployment amongst post-OEF and OIF veterans as well. If there's a job to be collaborated on in Central Texas, we can always count on Susan Thomas from Workforce to be one of the collaborators with us. And I'd like to bring Susan up now. She's the Executive Director of the Workforce Development Board to talk about spouse and veteran employment here in Central Texas.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Perry. Workforce Solutions of Central Texas is a private nonprofit that administers most of the public workforce funds and child care funds for the Central Texas region. Our main mission is to connect people with jobs. And veterans are a very large part of our business. They compose 30% of all the customers that we see coming through our workforce centers in the 7 counties. In the last 12 months, we've served roughly 11,600 veterans. We have another 5,000 that are registered in our statewide database system work in Texas. Of the numbers that we have served the last 12 months, 60% have entered employment. But the most important figure is 82% have employment retention, and that's what our employers are looking for. Veterans receive priority services in Central Texas through a number of ways. One, we have a computer-supported Veterans Resource Center where they have one-on-one help with a veteran representative as well as access to our computer systems. We have new job postings for veterans that are available 48 hours before the job posting is opened up to the regular general population. In addition to that, the Texas Workforce Commission has a Veterans Leadership Program that works with recently discharged Iraqi and Afghanistan veterans to help them navigate the systems when they return to Central Texas. We also have a priority program to connect unemployed veterans within 6 months of release from the military. As Mr. Perry referenced, we have a Veterans Inventory Program. I can't believe it, but this is the 8th year. This is very unique, only to Central Texas. We have 4 different partners. We meet about on a quarterly basis or whenever Bill says we need to meet. All the veterans take a 12-question survey when they're exiting from the military, and we gauge information from the survey, the jobs they had in the military, their expectations of where they want to live. Our sole purpose is to retain as many as we possibly can. It improves the quality of the workforce for Central Texas. Another one of our programs that's very unique to Central Texas, we receive no support or public funds to serve the spouses of the military. So about the time that Mr. Perry was garrison commander, we were able to secure federal funds from the Department of Labor to run a special program only for spouses. It was a large grant, $6.5 million. With that money, we served 2,225 military spouses. They were interested in primarily going to work, but many of them were interested in getting licensed so they could work in Texas. They needed career guidance. They were unfamiliar with the labor market in Central Texas, and so we assisted them with that. This received a statewide award from the Texas Workforce Commission. We received the top award service to the job seeker. With it came a check for $50,000. At the time, General Tom Metz was our commanding 3-Corps general, and his wife chaired our committee. She accepted that on behalf of Fort Hood and, of course, did a beautiful job. When those funds ran out, then we scrounged around and got additional funds. Okay. And we got funding through the state and through governor's special funds, and they made us change the name of our program, so now it's the talent program, but we still work with spouses. We have trained 430 spouses with the next amount of money, and 80% have obtained employment. Just last year, we won the Association of Defense Communities 2012 Military Family Partnership of the Year Award. We are very proud of that, and it was definitely a partnership. One of the factors in BRAC realignment in 05 was quality of life, was child care. And at that time, we only had 3 National Association of Education of Young Children, and I'll refer it to NACE after this. We only had 3 NACE-approved child care centers in the entire Central Texas. This is the benchmark, the highest quality of child care centers. So after learning that, then half of our money is child care, and we have a small portion dedicated to quality. So we dedicated our quality child care money in part this year to working with child care centers around the counties to get them up to code and able to submit their paperwork for accreditation. So far, we have 15 Head Start centers that have submitted, and we'll be receiving visits from the national between now and the end of June, and 5 additional child care centers also at Fort Hood. We're collaborating with the Army Child Care in your neighborhood. And 6 centers at Fort Hood, we have provided them landscaping, nature, explore for their child care centers. All this to say that child care is important, and it's a factor in being able for individuals to go to work. Our measure of success, our local wages have increased in Central Texas 0.6% as compared to the state decrease of 0.4%. So we think in Central Texas we're doing lots of things very well, and it's because of all the partnerships that we cherish. Thank you very much.